What's going on, America? It's Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I have a question for every American out there. Do you want to see our country torn apart? Do you want to see our country fail? Do you want to see our country become vulnerable from outside attacks? Because we're so stupid that we're not seeing because of politics, we're being divided from the inside out. Is that what you want? Because if that is what you want, then keep on doing stuff like encouraging protesting against the American flag. See, it's one thing to protest against someone or something in particular, but when you protest against the idea and the symbol that brings all of us together, you are sticking a knife right into the heart of America. One thing we have in common is that we are all Americans. And when you look at what's going on, this has become something that branched outside of attacking people because of racism, but now you're starting to attack people because of nationalism. Now, if you really think about this, the Democrats and the liberal media should be ashamed of themselves because they are so quick to jump on the bandwagon to support identity politics that they are willing to turn their back on nationalism, national pride, the thing that we have to hang on to if we are going to survive as Americans. But they are always gambling on identity politics being their ticket, their meal ticket. So they put all their chips on black. Yeah, I'm hoping that if I act like I'm supporting this cause that seems to be geared towards the African Americans, that I'll win favor with all of them for the next vote. But by doing that, what you are doing is you are setting yourself up for another loss in 2020. For the simple fact, this is exactly why a lot of Americans, black, white, and whatever else, voted for Donald Trump. Because when he makes a statement like he did about the flag and pride in America, he never mentioned black people. I knew, it's like we have a breakdown in our ability to comprehend and put things in context. What he was focusing on was the fact that these men in the NFL was disrespecting the flag, American pride, everybody who put their life on the line or sacrificed their life for America. That's what they were disrespecting. He wasn't even worried or talking about the fact of what it originally started from concerning their protests. If you feel that black young men were being targeted or victims of police brutality, then say that. Focus on that. Protest against that. But when you protest against the United States of America as a whole, the flag as a whole, you now discredit your argument because you now have drug in people from all races that support the United States flag. And so now you're going to get a big divide, whether it be black, white, Latino. I've been watching videos of all different types of races saying, this is crazy. I cannot believe that we're having this debate here on respect for the flag. Now, you want to know how we are going to crumble if we're not careful as America. You want to know how we are going to one day embrace a global network. Because see, that's what the Democrats are really pushing. They want us to let our guard down and just become global, embrace all the other countries, and let's become one world government. And if you're a biblical person, you know what that means. But the only way to do that is that you have to instill a sense of hatred and disgust for being an American. See, it's one thing to be disgusted by individual acts of Americans, individual companies, groups, organizations. But when you say America, now what you're doing is you're saying that I am not going to have any type of pride or support as an American. One thing that brings us all together is we're Americans. You attack us, look at 9/11. When it happened, everybody came together. Look at the Olympics. When the Olympics is taking place, I don't care how many neighborhoods or people you don't like in different cultures, when America is playing or competing, everybody was like, yeah, man, I want to see the Americans win. Now, all of a sudden, you see a lot of football players and politicians and of course liberal media that are trying to push this false narrative, because what they're really doing is trying to attack Donald Trump. They're really trying to push a false narrative and make it seem as Donald Trump's comments are racist and divisive, which upsets me. If I hear another word come out of Hillary Lying Butt Clinton, ooh, you know what? I saw her on TV. This is another example of his verbiage. She attacks black athletes. He attacks their right to. He never attacked their right to protest. He never attacked black athletes or the cause that they're protesting over. He simply focused on the fact that they were disrespecting the flag and everything it stands for and everybody who put their life on the line for it. And they should be ashamed of themselves. Even though it's their right to protest, it is also our right to get upset about it. And it is also our right to stop buying tickets, stop turning on the TV when they're playing, stop buying their jerseys. It's our right to do those things. And to shame us and to make us feel like we should just jump on this bandwagon and throw our whole country under the bus for a cause that started with a young man who took a knee and didn't even have a targeted entity that he was going after. He simply just said to bring awareness that America ain't treating black people the way they should be treated or whatever. But nonetheless, who is that? Show me somebody, show me something, show me a entity or person that we can address. But when you just throw it out there, open-ended, with no solution, no demands, no suggestion, now you're just setting up a scenario where people just embrace this idea that America is against all black people, when you can specifically look at certain incidents in our society that take place and say, now that was foul. That person needs to be brought to accountability. But to just say America, now what you have done is said, piss on the whole country. And when Donald Trump calls it out, crass as it may have been, but when he calls it out, and then you get all of these other football players and Jerry Jones and all the other NFL coaches talking about we're going to unite and take a knee. Let me tell you something. I hope y'all are not stupid enough to believe they're sincere about this. I guarantee you, behind closed doors, they're all going, you know what? This is a bunch of crap. And I can't believe that we gonna go out there just for PR purposes and take a knee, acting like we believe in this mysterious protest, but we gonna do it. You know why they're gonna do it? Because what they're afraid of, if they come out and say, this is crazy. Why are we protesting the flag, the national anthem? You know what would happen? CNN and all those other liberal stations and all the Democrats would look at them and say, racist, you're sexist, you're a homophobe, you're a phobophobe, you're phobophobian, you're as many phobes as I can get. And that's why they don't do it. That's why they all act like, well, yeah, we got to support this cause because of Donald Trump's rhetoric. Yet they all supported Donald Trump. Most of them supported him during his campaign. They're doing that for show. They're doing that because we have built our society to a point where everybody's walking around on eggshells, tiptoeing around political correctness and not calling stuff out for what it is. And that's why they're doing it. Trust me, I guarantee you, if they just, it's the same thing with the freedom of speech of the guy who owned the basketball team that got caught saying racist stuff to his girlfriend. The only reason they outed him is because he got caught. I guarantee you a lot of those executives in the NBA, when they sitting around their house, if their daughter come talking about, Dad, I'm bringing Jay-Z and I'm going to bring 50 Cent to the basketball game. I'm dating him. They'd be like, don't you bring nothing. Look, you my daughter. Don't make this family look bad. But yet, when somebody else gets busted saying what they feel, then all of a sudden it's like, we won't tolerate this. We're going to make sure he's out of this league. So what I'm saying is everybody dropped the facade. You know, it just makes me so mad. People running around and you ask them, what are you protesting for? You ask some of those NFL players, why are you protesting? Most of them don't even know. You know what they really protesting against? They're protesting against Donald Trump's rhetoric. See, they're focusing on the wrong person, on Donald Trump, not the fact of what he's talking about. Totally undermines America as a whole. And if we're ever going to try to move forward when it comes to race, we can't be doing stuff like, you know what, the last thing that keeps us all united, let's pee on that. Let's tear that apart too. We leave no hope for uniting ourselves. And if we don't stop focusing on just this blanketed idea of oppression, and this is all being driven down your throats by identity politics and by the liberal media, if we don't stop focusing on that, it's going to continue to further divide this country, and we will implode from the inside. And then you will see a country that is in complete disarray. And those same liberal politicians that push this crap and probably don't believe it themselves, so that they can come around voting time and say, those wicked Republicans and that evil Donald Trump, he didn't like you. He hates all blacks, all Chinese, and everybody else. They're trying to push all that garbage, and all it's doing is dividing the country, tearing us apart. And unfortunately, it's going to be the downfall of us if people don't wake up and see the manipulation. Am I sitting back saying these guys didn't have a right to protest? No. But are they misplacing their protests? Are they misplacing their anger? They don't even know what they're protesting about. They just like a kid that's upset and mad, and you ask them what's wrong, and they're like, I don't know. Well, who you mad at? I don't know, everybody. My point is, if you gon' protest, first of all, do it on your own time, because when you make a protest like that where you offend a lot of Americans, that you lose the validity of your protest. People don't even want to hear it after that. And you mess up ticket sales. If the NFL is smart, they better look at the polls. 70% of Americans are going, that is some bull crap. And a lot of people are ripping up and burning up jerseys. So if they want to ride this ship right down with Colin Kaepernick and the rest of the knuckleheads, let it be so. But they better really start looking at the people who voted that silent vote for Donald Trump of all races, because they sick of this crap that's going around, that we got to tiptoe around every cause and can't disagree to disagree. Now that's my take on it.